Alright, what's good, YouTube? So, I was just recording, to be honest. I played two games, and then, so the first game was pretty routine, and while I was recording, basically, I forgot to turn on my mic. So, I was watching it back, and there was no sound. But, anyways, this was the second game I played, it was much better. And, yeah, I'm gonna be running y'all through what's going on to it. But, so basically, right now, it's just the opening, classic d4, whatever, c4 opening. I'm trying to get all my pieces developed, and castle the king, got the fianchetto the bishop. Now I can't go back to e6 because he got the pawn d5 fork, so I'm back to d7. And at this point, I'm just trying to get my pieces involved, better position, get my pawn structure. So here I'm gonna get my rook involved, because eventually I'm going to try to break through that center, and I'm going to wait for the time. Perfect time, I mean. So the pawn a6 move is to stop knight b5 in case I want to develop my queen. And yeah, let's see what he does here. Alright, so I felt like this was the perfect time to open up the center. So I went pawn e5. Yeah. And I took with the pawn, attacking the knight. I kind of figured he was going to go knight d5 there, just to control the center a little bit more. Then he takes with his knight. And here, I was contemplating whether to move the knight to d4 or the bishop to e6. But I went bishop e6 because I want to put extra attacker on that knight. And if I'm able to trade it off, one of his pawns is isolated. So, yeah, definitely have a positional advantage. Also, that bishop on g7 is not really up to nothing right now, but if I move that pawn to e4, it's going to have that whole diagonal. So here he wants to trade queens, and he's attacking my rook also with that knight. So I traded the queens, and then got my rook out of that. So, does he trade rooks? No. So he's going to attack my other rook, and I really only got one move here. I'm not trying to trade everything off, especially because my pieces are further back, and his are kind of in control right now. So I decided not to trade the rooks. And let's see, what does he do here? So in this position, my dark square bishop's kind of cut off because of that pawn on e5, and my light square bishop is kind of blocked off because of those pawns, that pawn chain on the right. And yeah, I would say his pieces are pretty active. Alright, so right here I was able to spot a pretty good tactic. So pawn e4, basically the idea is threatening bishop d4 check, the dark square bishop to d4, and fork his king and knight. And yeah, he spotted it, so he stopped it eventually. Yeah, bishop c7 is actually one move he could have played. If he went bishop c7, I think I would have went rook to d4, but he went pawn c5. So here there's another good tactic. I think I traded the pawns first, but then I played it after. Or no, I didn't even trade the pawns, never mind. I think I pushed the pawn up. So yeah, the idea behind pushing the pawn up is obviously threatening that fork, so he has to move one of his rooks. And he played the most logical move in that. And then, so in this position, I went bishop to d4, obviously threatening the check, and also I'm threatening another little tactic. See if you can spot it. So in this position, he really has two choices. Either to move his king to the side or move his rook up one. See, I was thinking about this just now. What if he takes the bishop? What if he takes the bishop and then takes the pawn? I feel like that would end up in a draw. Obviously, I'd be up in material, but... So yeah, here's where I take the bishop, and then he takes my rook. And then I get the knight. So a knight and bishop for a rook. Honestly, that's not the best trade for the endgame, but just because I got that pawn on e3, I'm willing to take that trade. So he tries to open up his bishop. Then, let's see, I think I played my knight to d4. Yeah, so knight to d4. That basically, obviously it opens up his bishop so he can take my pawn, but I'm trying to get that e3 pawn promoted. And, oh yeah, so he took it. Then I was questioning whether to go bishop f5 here. Or, yeah, so basically if I attack the rook, then I'd be able to push the pawn and might be able to promote. That'd be difficult. I go bishop f5 here. Now, what does he do? I think he just took it. But if he went rook to c3, now what would I even do? I would probably push the pawn up, threaten the... Oh yeah, so I'd push the pawn up, threatening the discovery check, and then I'd have bishop to a5 when he moves his king to... what's it? Pin. But yeah, now I'm up a bishop, and he gets that pawn back. I was trying to find if there's any way to get that pawn promoted, but obviously his bishop's on. Alright, now that's actually interesting. I could have just pushed that pawn up. Then bishop e4. When he goes king g2, bishop e4, king h3, bishop f3. So I got two. See, I was planning on doing that now, but the problem is, yeah, he can just stop the checkmate. Because if I push that pawn up, it would be checkmate. So I did it now. Basically, he was trying to get his king to f3. I stopped him from that. And then I think I just took the pawn with the rook. Yeah. I did have a slight blunder in a little bit. Yeah, I think right here I attacked his rook. And I forgot that bishop was defending the pawn. But chess is all about thinking on the spot. So either I can give up a bishop in this position, or I can...
Hey, sushi!
Yep. So bishop g2 obviously here. Then he has two moves, either king g1 or e1.
Bro, the Asian been testing back.
Oh.
The one in Outlaw.
Oh shit.
But
Yeah, then I pinned his rook to his king. What she said?
I was talking to Bill about her. He was like, that's the easy one.
For real?
Yeah.